Amen.
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 And amen.
Amen.
Now give us the words.
Give us the words.
Give us the content.
Mm-hmm.
Help us, Lord. You guide our tongues. You keep us.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Power Up Man Show, where we use transparency to bring you to the truth. What we like to do in this show is use our life experiences to bring about, through transparency, to bring about truth. We want to help people out that have dealt with some of the same issues that we deal with. So we like to tackle those issues head on and discuss them and bring about some truth. And maybe it can help just that one person out there that really needs to hear some of the subject matter that we discuss.
Yeah, a lot of times, when in terms of helping somebody, everybody's going through all kind of different stuff all the time. I mean, it could be, drug abuse, it could be suicide, maybe they just broke up with, the significant other, it could be all kinds of different life issues going on all the time.
That's right.
People struggling. They
right.
need help. We just want to help somebody.
That's right. So that's what we do. So with that being said, I'm Keith Withrow.
I'm Gary Rambo.
Yeah, and we're the Power Up Man Talk Show. And where we like to bring the real hardcore subject matter to everybody and discuss it and hit it head on.
That's right.
And always remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And we would like to hear from you guys. If there's a particular subject matter you'd like to hear us talk about the next time, please mention it. Let us know about it. Quite sure we've dealt with it. Or if we don't, we can bring some specialists on who has.
That's right.
Am I right?
That's right. Because we're not trying to portray an image where we know everything, because we don't.
No.
But we do want to share what knowledge that we do have with you all.
That's right. Today's subject matter is basically going to be one that we've tackled previously, I think a couple of episodes back. And we're going to talk about insecurities. Got a lot of feedback back on a lot of people where that really hit home. Insecurities is a subject that basically can lead to a lot of dysfunction in life, which could lead down the road of to depression and to leading you to a dark place. Some of those places that we've talked about previous episodes. And we just wanted to elaborate a little bit further and go down the rabbit hole a little further as it relates to the insecurities issues.
That's right. The last time on the last episode, I was talking about my own experience with insecurities, and mine was basically, the low self-esteem, the, sweating issue and stuff, my issues with, public speaking, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, we were talking about transparency. So that's my example in this particular case, what that really looked like. So when it comes to, the consequences of not dealing with that insecurity, it can really go deep.
Yes.
It can really go deep in terms of, what you can miss out on.
Yep.
Earlier we were talking, and so one question I wanted to ask, it's more of a rhetorical question, is have you ever really met your real self?
Wow.
And when I say your real self, I mean the person that God made you to be.
Yeah.
Because you may function in a certain way in life and in your job and stuff like that, but many times that's really not you.
Yep.
It's really not who you really are.
That's right.
And it's probably not what you're supposed to be doing.
That's right. Trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Not supposed to fit in. You're supposed to be doing your own thing.
Yeah. That was part of what I felt in high school.
I never fit in. I just had to dumb myself down. I never felt.
I was popular and all that, but dude, I just felt like,
I don't fit in.
I don't fit in. I don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? And it's so different how people perceive you a certain way, but if you don't perceive yourself, properly or whatever, then nothing's right.
Nothing's
after that, because that's all that really matters at the end of the day. How do you feel about yourself? So that was my thing. I ain't feel right on the inside. You know what I'm saying? I ain't feel that.
Some people go through their own life.
Yeah. And that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
See, if you had you knew you didn't fit in, right? So you could have made a fake ram to fit in. Yep. And that's what most people do. Yep. They'll create this other person that fits to that group that you felt that you needed to be a part of. Right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of people never snap out of it. They just begin to keep doing that all the way through life. And at the end of the day, they never knew who they were supposed to be. They don't even know who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they never really know who am I really?
Right. So it's like, in terms of these insecurities, like for me, right? You know, me being here, Keith, extended the offer, asking if I wanted to join him and all that kind of stuff, to, with the meetings and the talk show and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
With the type of insecurity that I had, without confronting that, I wouldn't be here.
That's right. You wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't take the opportunity because I'd be too afraid.
That's right.
Because I'd be thinking about the rejection aspect of it. What if I just break into this fit of sweat, or I just start feeling uncomfortable and all that stuff. It's just fear.
That's right. What ifs.
It's just the enemy.
That's right. What ifs.
Right.
As we said in the last Insecurities episode, we talked about how Satan uses just a small crevice, just a little crack, just to infiltrate. And basically infiltrate, and then he'll exploit whatever that is that he can use to make you feel bad about yourself, to where you can't be a full, where you won't operate at full potential, and where you cannot fulfill your assignment that the Lord is giving you. Everyone has some sort of an assignment.
That's right. Yes.
So if he can stop that, he's going to use some of those insecurities. In the Insecurities episode, I talked about mine was the fact that I didn't go to college, so I felt I had to elaborate upon my success in business. I had to make everybody know, let everybody know how, in my own little way, that I owned a business and it was doing well. Well, guess what? A lot of times, like we talked about earlier, with how you were dealing with fitting in when you were in high school, being the popular athlete. Well, guess what? What if you put a mask on and you never take it off? Like, for instance, if I had continued down that road, I would be doing what I'm doing right now, because the last thing I would do at that point would be transparent. See, the most thing I would make sure everything had to be on point. It was so bad that I didn't wear any athletic wear. I was always business casual. A lot of you will have seen it that knew me during those times. You know that I'm telling the truth, that I didn't have any tennis shoes. I didn't wear any sweatsuits. Everything I did, I had to be sharp and business casual. So I didn't know how to relax. I didn't know how to let go. I didn't know how to kick back. I didn't know how to just scale it back. You can't operate like that in life 100%. You have to have a fallback.
I got it.
You have to decompress. You can't walk around pressurized all the time,
right,
and don't have some sort of a pressure relief valve.
I mean, what do we tell our guys in the meet? Take your mask off.
Take your mask off.
Take your mask off.
So if I had continued down that road, there is a very good chance that type of stuff, actually, I would probably have had some sort of an illness or some sort of a breakdown, because one thing it does do, it makes you have hypertension.
Yep.
Which leads you to have strokes and all kind of other serious conditions that could ultimately take you out. Why? Because you're trying to live up to something.
I got it.
Well, you don't have to do all of that. It's not necessary. Be you. Be your best you. We talked about this earlier. We talked about it in the last episode. Be the best you. Relax and be comfortable in who you are. No one's saying that you shouldn't know how to somewhat change according to what atmosphere you're in. I mean, you have to do that in business. I call it being a chameleon. And you have to sometimes adjust to the atmosphere that you're in in order to connect with your clients or potential clients.
I get it.
We understand that. But in your everyday life, at home, with your friends and your family, that's not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And you shouldn't have to really do it that much when you're in business. Because guess what? Everybody's made differently. And whatever your strengths are and who you really are, the people who need to connect to that guy will connect to that guy.
That's right.
The contracts that you're supposed to get are set aside for you. You will get them, being you.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said before, sometimes you'll never become who you're supposed to be, and maybe even to get to the level of success to where you could be, because you never developed who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You developed some other guy, some other being, some other person that's this hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
You developed this hybrid, this guy who is a little bit you, but not mostly you. And now you're running around, and then now with social media, we're using it as a medium to get our word out and get the Lord's word out to help just the one person, as we said earlier.
That's right.
But guess what? If you don't be you, and if you don't use all the tools that God gave you, then you're not effective.
Right.
Even the bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just talking about the good stuff.
Gotcha.
We're talking about the bad stuff. Because the bad stuff and the bad things that you've gone through, that's what makes you who you are. So you're a part of that. So guess what? That builds character.
It does.
So that builds character. So if you haven't spilled blood in the mud, then you can't talk to a warrior.
That's right.
Because
it makes people a lot more relatable.
Exactly.
It makes you relatable to them, I mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, people feel like they can connect to you.
That's right.
They're like, well, okay, well, cool. Because you notice, if you have somebody that presents themselves too perfect, too prim, too proper.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. Something's not right.
I can't talk to him. Something right.
Something's not right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so you can feel that and you can sense that. So the one thing that we wanted to move further into when we talked about insecurities is basically keeping you out of a dark space. Mm-hmm. So Gary, what was some of the things that you talked about in order to free yourself from these, I'm gonna call them demons, because they do plague people and they actually devastate people to the point where they can go into depression or maybe even commit suicide.
Well, one of them, I think the first one is to recognize you have a problem.
Right.
Makes you, to that self-realization, that self-analysis. Because honestly, one of the hardest things to do is just to be honest about yourself. Yeah. Look at yourself with, in a very introspective kind of manner.
Yeah.
And understand, man, this is a major problem that I have. After you come to that realization, after that, you can, go to God.
Yep.
Go to him in prayer, read his word.
Yep.
Understand what he's saying about you or what he said about you.
Right.
In his word.
Right.
And it's like, these are some of the things that you need to do in terms of like dealing with that thing. Because otherwise it's just going to keep going.
Right.
The last thing, you got to do it.
Right.
Like I made the example of myself, right? Accepting the invitation, to come help my boy here.
Right.
It's like, this is doing it for me. This is doing it. Yeah, this is what it looks like, practically speaking.
Right, because you didn't want to do the public speaking, so now you're actually in front of a camera for everybody to see. Right. So some of the demons that you were wrestling with, the perspiration, the public speaking, being uncomfortable, you're dealing with all of those. I'm saying you're doing a good job at it too, dog.
Appreciate it.
Right. So yeah, you got to hit it head on. Like, take that negative and turn it into fuel. That's one of the tactics that I use in life a lot. I'll take a negative and I'll somehow take it and transform it into fuel to power me. So whatever that thing is that you're insecure about, we talked about it when we talked about the midlife crisis. It could be your age. It could be your size, your weight, your color, your complexion, your family, your heritage, your lineage. Any of these things could be triggers to cause you to be insecure about something and you not feeling good about yourself. And again, we're not talking about being arrogant or prideful. I'm just saying that it's very important to be you. Like, be you and be confident in you. However you were made. Be you and be the best you. Again, there's only one you that will ever be created and that ever has walked the earth and that will ever will walk the earth. There's only one. There's only one. So if there's only one person made just like you, then you should take full advantage of the you. Like, be the best you. Don't waste time trying to be like somebody else.
That's right.
Again, I can't stress that enough. Self-study yourself and be confident. You know, one major thing I think, be mindful of what groups you're trying to align with.
Got it.
If your group, if you have to stretch yourself so far out of who you are to be a part of a group, maybe you should question that group that you're trying to be in alignment with.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And we both talked about it earlier. I felt I never quite fit in a lot of groups. But guess what? Maybe you weren't meant to fit in. Maybe the group that you felt uncomfortable about being a part of is not the group that you should be in alignment with. You are not supposed to fit into that hole. You're a square peg trying to go in a round hole.
No, actually, what we are, we're designers originals.
Yes.
The Lord made all of us special.
Yep.
You know what's funny? You're always saying, hey, what you know, hey, why you talking about the short man?
I'm the short man.
Reason being is that, of course, this guy is so confident. He has such a magnetic personality that he comes into a room and just in general, people love him. Why? Because he's comfortable in his own skin.
Oh, yeah.
He's comfortable being himself.
Yeah, I'm the short man. I'm 5'7". I'm the short man. Believe it or not, that has not ever been one of my insecurities, my height. But what I do, because people think it is, I use it for fuel, because I'm always say, hey man, I'm just a short man, you know, and I use it. But actually, that never really fazed me much, you know, in my life. I mean, that's just happened to not be one of my insecurities. I had a lot of others, but that wasn't one of them, you know. But
I get it.
But all that being said, we're going to talk about how insecurities lead into darker spaces on our next episode coming up. We're going to talk about depression, which is a major subject where a lot of people are and they're walking around in a functional state of depression.
Yes.
And we're going to get into that a little deeper. We appreciate you guys supporting us. And always remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to support us. And as we said before, give us some feedback. We want to know what's going on. We want to talk about some of the stuff that you guys want to hear coming up out of the man cave. So
yeah, just write in the comments, what topics, you all are dealing with, and, comment and let us know what you think.
Yep. And we'll do our best to try to address some of that subject matter, because again, we're out to help somebody. It could be just that one person needs to hear and hear content on something they may be dealing with. And that's what we're here for. This is not about us. It's about helping somebody else. So like we always say at the end of all of our segments, y'all know what's coming. Power up, man.
That's right.
Power up. We out. Welcome back to Power Man. Cut. Cut.